Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Dadcast. I am JP. He is Nick. Nick, how are you, man?
I'm awesome, man. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I just got back from South Florida, as you are very aware.
I know. 14 hours in Utah and
yeah.
Well, some of the time in South Florida.
We can bash on Delta Airlines later and talk about that whole story if we feel the need. By the way, I did the count. I ate 47 fish tacos the entire time I was there.
Damn. I'm proud of you.
Today on the show, man, I'm really excited for this guy. This is going to be a long intro courtesy of Wikipedia. Please welcome to the show a former contestant from Road Rules Extreme, winner of the Inferno 3, The Island, and The Ruins, and a finalist on the Inferno 2, Triple X, Dirty 30, and All-Stars. He also competed on Battle of the Sexes 2, The Gauntlet 2, Fresh Meat, The Duel, Cutthroat, All-Stars 2. He is a Challenge All-Star OG. Welcome, Mr. Derek Kosinski. How are you, man?
What?
I've got an applause one. Is this it? Nope, that's always the wrong one. There it is. Here we go. How are you, bud?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Yeah, I just got off of a podcast of my own, interviewing challenge also fellow dad challenge all-star OG legend triple OG Darrell Taylor.
Nice.
Talked to him about opening his gym in Elk Grove, California. So yeah, man, I know what you're talking about here with the appreciation of Dad Nation and we, I appreciate you guys and thanks for having me. And
absolutely.
Wikipedia is so with their, Derek introduction, but I think it's all there.
It's close. There's more. There's a whole lot more, to be honest.
I was looking at it too. I'm like, holy.
But I just, we actually have stuff to talk about. We don't need an hour of an intro, is what I'm saying. Derek, first question. It is a rite of passage on Dadcast. We already know the answer. Listeners, viewers probably know the answer, but we're going to ask it anyway. Are you a dad?
Oh, I'm like, gosh, how do I say awesome dad without saying awesome dad? I used to refer to myself as Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, growing up, like, I don't know. I just felt like I feel like breaking the mold. I felt like I was breaking the molds of what dads were. I was like, I care about this kid. I love this kid. Like, I feel like I'm a nurturing dad, I feel like whatever, all the equality that, the world has gone to, I feel like the dads were like trying to catch up.
Yeah.
They were trying, like even in the court systems, it's like, we're not even equal to our counterpart, which is, mom. I mean, no offense, but like, we're not, that equality is not there yet. Not from my understanding through divorce and custody battles.
Yeah, we agree wholeheartedly. That's kind of, I mean, that is one of the major stamps of why we started this podcast is to enlighten and, put a little emphasis on the fact that, hey, man, this job, it ain't a job. It is a way of life and it should be done loud and proud and nurturing, like you said, man. So, bottom line, the answer to that question, though, is yes, you're a dad.
DADYES.
Daddies. How many kids you got, man?
Just one.
Yeah. Boy, girl?
Boy, 13 years old. Very good basketball player.
Yeah.
But I had to teach him a lesson the other day. I stuffed the snot out of him while he was going for a jump shot. Of course, I'm like, don't play basketball very often anymore. So I'm like 100% ready. Body feels good. He's coming off of like at the end of basketball season, the county tournament just happened like a couple days ago. He's nursing some blisters and getting ready for travel ball. And, he wanted to play one-on-one. And I'm like, about to show you how the old man still does.
Yeah, buddy.
And
but you got to get that in while you still can, because we are not getting any younger.
Yeah.
My son, he's 11 years old, and I still can, to quote you famously, beat the snot out of him when it comes to arm wrestling and pretty much anything sporting or athletic. But I know that day is coming because I am no spring chicken. And
yeah, I'm good with the little guy with my 18-month-old. My other kids, they're like 2 feet taller than me. They're bigger than me. They kick my ass, dude. Like, we played one-on-one with my 15-year-old. He just like beat the snot out of me.
Nick, Frodo Baggins is 2 feet taller than you.
Shut up.
Well, that's the thing. And like my neighbors were walking by and they were walking. It was like a nice day. They're walking their baby in the baby carriage. And I'm just like, swat the ball, like clean stuff. Look to my fiance's camera because I was attempting to do a Chubby's ad because I had these shorts. Now I'm into the shorter shorts, right?
Okay.
Now I'm into the shorter shorts where I used to be the dad that was like into the longer shorts. So I work with Chubby's, which is a clothing line. I'm wearing it right now. But they have these shorter shorts that like completely changed my perception on what I should look like nowadays at 38, dad, trying to like still look halfway decent in my travels and stuff like that. And so I put it on. I stuffed the snot out of him. I looked at the camera and did the whole and then I looked at and I did exactly what you just said. I looked at the neighbor and I was like, listen, you got to enjoy the small victories while you can, because at some point I am not going to be able to do that to this kid because he's really good. Like I'm not even just saying that. It's like he had this year in basketball, and like we've been playing basketball since he was, since I can remember. I've been tossing him a ball since like that was the most important thing for me. It was like, he's got to be able to catch everything. And now at 13, he's taller than me. He plays center. I mean, I'm a lifetime point guard, shooting guard at best. Right. This kid's already playing the 5, but he can shoot. He can shoot. He can rebound. His accuracy on his rebounding is on point. So if you're a dad listening to this, play catch with your kids.
Absolutely.
Early and often. It is the most simple activity that you could ever do. I mean, you don't have to take that. It doesn't take that long. And shit, you can work on dads. You probably need to work on your damn catching too.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me of a quote that I haven't said in a few episodes, but you reminded me of it just now. And it's so profound. It only takes a moment to make a moment. There it is, man. Simple, easy, effective, man. Be with your kids. Be around. Be present. That is amazing, man. 13 years old. Are there any... Is there any prospects for more kids in the future of Derek Kosinski, or is that off the table?
I mean, I love kids, like the babies. Like I've just always been so fascinated by, the innocence of the beauty of the youth. Just like their growing process, their change, how they change. I just think it's so perfect. It's so, and what a lot of parents do is they completely fuck that up. They completely like just treat this kid like it's a thing, or like it's not worthy of, being given human nature or being treated with human nature. So they grow up treating other humans without the importance of being a human. So, you get these kids that are bullies and just don't have the respect that, probably because they were taught from their parents.
Oh yeah.
It starts at home.
Everything is learned, man. Every single thing in a child is learned from, their environment and their parents. Bottom line, and a few times, out there, I guess there's a serial killer gene, where something just wasn't quite correct in the brain up there that you can't fault the parents for rarely. But, typically, like you said, man, it's all learned. It's brought, like Nick said, got it from home.
Yep.
Yeah, and I watched, speaking of Nick and the Ninja Turtles in his background there, I actually watched the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with him yesterday. And just because, like, dude, these are national pastimes for us, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I always told them the very first Ninja Turtles is the best Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I like, you know, even the toys.
Oh,
the
yeah.
original toys were always the best.
And now, the comics.
The comics, yeah.
Yeah. And they had a dad problem. The dad for the foot soldier, the redheaded kid, he was like stealing money. I mean, he was a foot soldier, right? So he was a bad guy who was like eventually becomes like a reformed bad guy, right?
Right.
But he's having problems with his dad, and I just think it's also a profound moment to have him see that, like, fathers and sons don't always have good relationships. Like that was an example, like without it happening. They're also like, Casey Jones is kissing April O'Neil. Like, so for, for and the Ninja Turtles are like, oh, they're like, and it's so I don't know how often he's seeing that now with like COVID and, like they're wearing masks for the past 2 years. And like, he's, been in a mask or not in school for almost 2 years now. I mean, you know what I mean? Online schooling, all that stuff. Like they can't, I mean, I think they're getting ready to take their Tuesday. They're ready to do optional masks. So, I mean, for the first time, my kid is going to see like,
oh, she is pretty.
People,
oh, no, she's not.
Yeah. No, it's been a weird, like just watching my kids. Two of my kids are in high school. And watching their interactions the last 2 years of they were outgoing and now they're like socially awkward. It's like, we need that interaction. We need to be around people. We need to see people, see expressions. And we had that taken away from us for 2 years. Like it's totally weird. And then getting reintroduced to, I think we go away on March 19th here of no more masking inside. So the kids don't have to wear them at school.
Finally.
And it's just a weird thing where just looking at it through my kids' eyes of like, oh my gosh, this is really, really strange and how it's affected them and what's going to happen in a few years of like, it was this traumatic enough to mess them up for a long time. It's weird.
We're in Oregon. I think that's what you're about to ask us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oregon. You guys are both, I'm in West Virginia. So,
okay.
Another thing that I noticed. So COVID hits, my kid's getting into video games. I'm kind of getting back into video games by proxy, by right. I don't what's it called? By
guilt by association.
Guilty by association. I'm in the fucking game. I'm in it. NBA 2K.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he's growing up. He's playing these games that I used to play. You can like upgrade your guy. I mean, we're trying not to pay, right? So like he doesn't have the time to like, rack it up like other kids. They may have the money or they may just have the extra time, but like, to get to whatever, like a 90 overall for your like 2K guy.
Yeah.
Like I mean that's hard to do. So I'm just fucking playing. I put him to sleep and I just get on and I start playing. but early on when he's on the headset, I'm like, man, this kid sure plays a lot of video games. Like I was living in an apartment, and he couldn't like really go outside, and play like a kid, like you want your kids to do if you can. And he's on his video games on his headset. I'm like, I guess it's not as bad as back in the day. It would just be us playing like Nintendo or Super Nintendo, and then being able to go outside if you have that luxury, right? But a lot of the arguments for some parents are like, all they do is play video games. All they do is play videos. Yeah, but they're still kind of staying social.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now they're getting, now they're playing Fortnite with like 3 of their friends, and they're getting in squads, and they're kind of proceeding in teamwork.
Yeah,
and like they're communicating. Yeah, they're probably telling each other to fuck off every now and then, which then you catch them and you You know, you slap him on the wrist a little bit there, however you slap is, not physically, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you see them kind of mature too. Like if a kid's saying an inappropriate word, and he's not supposed to be saying it. I'm hearing my kid check him a little bit. And I'm like, oh, look at that. So it wasn't like a complete debacle to have my kid constant, on video games for, a period of time when he was 10 years old or whatever it may have been, 9 years old or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think exactly the same thing. When all the COVID shit hit in, March of 20, and at that point, the 2 weeks to get better turned into 2 years. I had no problem with him playing as much video games as he wanted. With the world is scary right now, go at it. And he even started playing his little sister and him. He got her into playing online video games and got her good at Fortnite. And it was just a new way for them to bond, still be social. I agree. With the advent of technology, some things are bad. That wasn't such a bad thing for them to be experiencing. And you know what? It gave them an appreciation for that opportunity to go play outside. Finally, it came, in my household. He said, Dad, I'm so tired of this. Can I just go outside and ride my bike? And I was like, you know what, dude? You go. Have at it. Don't go anyone's house, et cetera, be safe. Because it was still at the beginnings of it. But, it also gave them an appreciation for that, which I think is amazing. Derek, I want to go way back with you. It's 9 months before the birth of your son. And you are informed somehow, some way by the mother of your son. How did that go? What were the emotions that went through your head, if you can remember that far back? You're going to become a dad.
I think I just got done with a celebrity softball game in Cocoa Beach, Florida. And I had just got done playing softball with Badass Billy Gunn, George the Animal Steele. Now Badass Billy Gunn is back in AEW, making shit happen with his kids, ironically. And I think they're called the Gun Club, GUNN.
Yeah.
So I pulled out those pictures. I feel like, man, I can't remember exactly, but it was like a couple of challenge people, Mark Long, Ace, Johnny Bananas. I think they were all there. And I had, once we went back to the hotel room and we were getting ready to go out, we had that moment of hey, it's happening. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go celebrate.
Yeah.
Let's go celebrate.
Right.
It was just I don't know. You don't really know how to it wasn't, it wasn't planned.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, was there, were you scared? Were you happy? Was it a mix of all of that?
I mean, it was well,
here we go.
Yeah. It's all right, well, might as well go celebrate then. I mean, what? I mean, that's really, I'm going out anyway. Might as well crack a couple of beers for this one.
Yeah. All right.
Get ready for a ride.
Fast forward 9 months later. Were you there for the birth?
Yep.
How'd that go for you, man?
Well, I did what 10 out of 10 guys told me not to do.
Whoa.
Looked.
Don't look. I said, don't look.
Right.
I said, don't look.
My lady wouldn't let me look. So I stood behind her shoulder and I got to see everything, the beautiful magic that it was for the first kid. The second kid was a water birth. So I actually caught her. I caught my daughter in the water. So I was the very first person to touch her. Caught. That sounds like she came out real propelled. It was
like a football.
I guided her out and held her, pulled her out of the water. Mama turned around on her back, and then I placed her on Mama's chest. And she still wasn't crying yet because she still thought it was, she was in the womb with the water. And then boom, soon as she was out, got that first cry. But those were my experiences with two of my kids as far as the birth goes. And it was it's magical, man. It's so amazing. It just,
So you didn't look the first time, but the second time you had to look because you had to catch your kid.
Yes, but it was in a it was in a, for lack of a better way to put it, a very large jacuzzi. And the water's moving around and it's kind of dimly lit in there. So, and she was, oh, honey, I'm sorry for this description. If you watch this video, she was on all fours. So, it wasn't a typical birth. So the view wasn't what you would typically expect. So I was not scarred. And plus I had all eyes on the head and pulling her out. And it was, so, I wasn't too terribly scarred at all. Lucky me.
Yeah, so the doctor tricked me on my youngest, and I'm scarred.
Tricked. Well, no. Details, son. Details.
It was scary and like crazy because like the baby's purple.
Yes.
So you're like, oh my God, is this thing alive? Is it all head? What the fuck is happening here? And dude, it looked like the most painful situation I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't ever want to be a woman ever.
Yep. The cone head and the shape. Yeah. There you go.
Oh yeah. It was,
Here, catch me.
Yeah. And it like,
I thought,
I thought he was going to pop out pretty quick. It took a couple hours. So I'm like, oh no, never again. I'm going to stay up by her head next time.
Yeah. Good choice. Nick, did you see what just happened? I'm Derek's dad now.
Whoa.
All right, man. So so you became a dad, 13-year journey. How has it been? Do you do before, pre-COVID, with all these shows you go on and do? Is there a lot of away time from him?
Yeah. He has had to adapt and learn that dad's way of life is not so normal.
Right.
And sometimes it's a waiting game and sometimes we don't know. And when we go on the shows, it's a lot of times 1 phone call a week, 2 if you're lucky. 10 minutes a week, 20 minutes a week. If you get those 2 phone calls, but you got to split them up, right? So if you want to talk to, another loved one, that 10 minutes is split in half or whatever, 7 minutes here, 3 minutes to the other person. So you're basically either getting 1 or 2 phone calls a week for, 5 to 10 minutes a week, basically, maybe 15 at max. But so he's also learned that at this point, it's like, you should write down what you want to tell me throughout the week and then have it right there and then just bam, blast it off. Tell me, so he's been pretty, it's like, it's crazy. It's almost like he's been on the challenge with me so many times, but and like also with the podcast, like I have a podcast where I interview people at random hours, random times, and we got to get it done. And daddy's got to go to work. And, at the beginning, it was a lot of like, why? Well, it's like, because this is how daddy makes his damn money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is how you get to live here. This is how you get to eat the food. Okay.
This is how you get that new Fortnite skin. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You want the Fortnite skin? How do you think he does it? Because daddy does a fucking podcast. Okay. Without the F-bomb. But I mean, at some point you kind of have to, at some point it's like, what is a podcast? I remember I had to or the challenge, it's not such a 9 to 5 job where everything is just, spot on. So I think he's learned to adapt to things and he understands. And sometimes it's hard when you go out of the country multiple times throughout the year. But I think he's grown up. I mean, I'm literally a challenged dad. Like that's literally what you have as a father. Like I'm a challenged dad. I have a business called Challenge Mania, a podcast challenge called Challenge Mania. We have a shop. You can get clothes at challengemania.shop. You can get extra shit at patreon.com/Challenge Mania. I do live shows at comedy clubs and, states X, Y, and Z. So it's like, and then I have to toggle with, the 50-50 split that me and his mom have. So I kind of have to, plan stuff on these days. And if I don't get them on those days, I gotta go talk to her about switching. Which if you don't have an ex-wife that's always, like gung ho about your life, then, it could be a problem at times, So, there's a lot of intangibles that come in here, and I thought I was going to screw him up more, and only time will tell if, how much, divorce had to play in it, or some of these things that he experienced, younger. You have to worry about it. You wonder what they remember at certain ages, or when it stops, like even people that, have a kid. And I think in my head, like if you get divorced by like 6 years old, by the time the kid's like 6 or 7, like they may not even remember anything, they may not even remember what happened. But they will remember how mom and dad interact afterwards, And so I think that through all the, trials and tribulations of getting him at 13 years old, like I'm really proud of him. Like I think he's adapted to everything so well. And he's got a good heart. He's a good work ethic in sports. He's respectful. He communicates well. I think he stands up for good. He's not doesn't look down. He knows not to look down on people. That even the quiet kids need love too. So when we talk about bullying and him being, I don't try to push too many things. I don't like to put too many things on his plate, but I do think that showing him or showing them rather than telling them is important as well. But I also think that, explaining things instead of being like, this is how you do it because this is how it's done because I said so. No. That's not how I don't believe that's how it should work. I believe you should teach your kid why things are being done this way, and it needs to be done in a tone that's like, humane, respectful, and to the point. Yeah, I get it. You got to yell at your kids sometimes. Like,
it happens, but talking with, not at, goes a long way.
Yeah. Like the biggest thing I learned, like my older kids are my ex-wife and I, we got divorced like 10 years ago. The biggest thing I learned for them is to be there, be present, and make sure they know that you give a shit about them. Like that's the biggest thing. And then try to be respectful to their mom as much as you hate each other. That's, like the one thing they always come back to me is like, Dad, why did you yell at my mom like that? Or why did my mom yell at you like that? Like that kills you. That's the hardest part. But the big thing is just being respectful and then making sure your kids know that you love them more than anything. They're number one. All the other bullshit is whatever. It's just bullshit. So
quote him on it. We are hanging out with Derek Kosinski. Man, having a good time. By the way, this episode is brought to you locally by KMVU Fox 26. That's where the logo is going to go. Thank you very much, KMVU. We appreciate you. Derek, and I hope this isn't part of your Fast Five, Nick. It shouldn't be, because this is my go-to question. If you, and you know what, you may have already kind of answered this earlier, Derek, but it's an important question. If you could impart one piece of solid advice to any new dad out there, what would it be?
New dad.
A dad, he had never been a dad before. He's going to be a dad. We need to give this guy a head start. What's it going to be?
I think it's hard to go there, but I think just like my knee-jerk response is like, love them. I think that you have to love them. And then you have to be patient with them. I think patience is key for, I think patience is key for everybody all people, whether they're parents or not, because you're still, you don't have to treat other people like they're your kids or anything like that. But like, you have to be patient with them. When they cry, you have to try to like understand why they're crying and their needs. You can't be getting frustrated and pissed off at them. It's like, they're yours.
Yeah.
You have to take care of it. Like you have to take care of it, and you have to you have to care for it with love. Like you're now basically in charge of another human. You're their coach, you're their trainer, you're their therapist, you're their you're their mom, you're their dad. Sometimes you're their cook, you're their nutritionist, you're their man, you're all of it.
You are literally their everything.
You're literally, this is what I'll tell you. The only thing that these brand new babies are doing is breathing on their own. You are literally doing everything I just said to them, everything that I just mentioned. You are all of those people encompassed at one, AKA dad. But some people have shorter fuses than others. And, I think that there are coping mechanisms out there, if like you can't do it, but I do think it's important for, parents to, get along around them. I think that's important too. So
yeah, they're sponges, man. No, that was thorough. The kids are sponges, man. They pick it all up. Heck, my little girl brought up a fight that mommy and I had like 3 years ago. And that was when she was like 4 years old. And it's like, what? That was 4 years ago, honey. Yeah, but do you remember you were yelling at mom? I'm like, yeah, she's yelling at me too, though. And it's just terrible. I hate that. Yeah. No bueno. Nick, have you put together a Fast Five for Derek Kaczynski?
But I'm going to ask one quick question. So when we had Lavin on, he was saying he's going to host the challenge till he dies, which could be about 20, 30 years, maybe longer. Who knows? He's getting older. But,
can you imagine him in a walker?
Are you prepping your kid to be on the challenge? 'Cause I think it would be badass to have all the former challenge members have their kids show start doing it. That would be cool.
I think with Paramount Plus, anything can happen. It's so there's certain ways you look at the challenge, right? There's like the house reality where you're like, I don't know how ready I am to have my kid, drinking and turning up yet. Like,
right.
I don't know if I'm ready to see him turn up. Like I'm at the point where I like kind of want him to get a scholarship somewhere. And I don't know if maybe he does grow up just like a straight laced athlete, maybe hits 21, 22, he's just one of those kids that like, gets a beer too, whatever, or doesn't, maybe he's that kid that's just like straight. I'm going to the fucking NBA. Like, I don't need that shit. Like, I need to go shoot more or whatever. I'm Polish. I'm 100% Polish. So he's going to see drinking, he's going to see festive, the festivities of life. He's going to see us be merry and jolly and laugh, under a couple drinks. So, but like, we definitely don't want to see him, do some of the shit dad did, back in the day. Like, I don't know.
Dude.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be training him to be like prepared for keg stands.
He'll learn that on his own if that's the path. Just like you.
Right. But my dad wasn't like that. My dad wasn't like, oh, go play sports. Oh, maybe he'll get a scholarship. Maybe he'll finish college. He was like, he was just, I mean, for me, I learned from the ultimate party trainer, man. Like my dad was always, he wasn't afraid to tie one on, and I learned,
right.
And sometimes to my detriment. So, so to have like the question is, do we like? Does my kid at some point, grow an Instagram following where he's like celebrity status, and then we throw him on the challenge and watch what happens? Maybe. I mean, it's possible,
So it's a safer way to prevent all that. Do a parents and their kids. So the kids are your teammates. That would be kind of a cool challenge.
That would be cool. That would be really cool, because that kind of brings you into like what were those games called back in the day? Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh yeah.
Remember games like that, like on Nickelodeon or something like that. Like, I mean, that's pretty much primed up for like a Paramount Plus.
Mhm.
Like you could probably do that. You could probably do like a, semi-celebrity version of that. Like even if say, the Dancing with the Star, like you could use all types of anybody that's like has a kid and isn't scared to put them on TV or whatever. Now you have like YouTube stars and stuff like that. Like you could probably make it work. I don't know how appealing that, like it's cool for kids. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, like Nickelodeon is a channel where it's all kids, right?
Mhm.
But they've even made it a way, they've even brought the Super Bowl to like Nickelodeon, I think, Slime Time and stuff.
Dude, I don't
like
know about
that.
you, but I preferred watching that game over, the other broadcast version of it. It was awesome. It was really watching the kid announcers and the graphics on the screen. I totally dig that. Has your kid used your celebrity status yet to get anything? Take advantage of you?
No, but I don't think so. I mean, I post about him all the time, so so I think it's starting to become a situation where at school they're like, oh, it's probably because your dad is on TV or some shit. You know what I mean? Like if they want to be jerks, they can just be like, that's the kid whose dad's on TV or something. You know what I mean? Like kids are, it's possible that, they're there, but I'll be honest with you. He has a TikTok. I don't know what it's called. It's probably Derek Kaczynski Jr.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
it's Derek Kaczynski Jr. So he's got a video that has 150,000 views, and that has nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing. And I get it. Like 150,000 is not like a million, but I've never got 150,000 views on any of my videos. Posts.
There it is. Looks like a basketball game of some sort. There he is.
Hold on here. Let him watch it. Here it is. So it's very simple. It's just him getting an and one at a crucial moment. But
dude, that's impressive. That's
and
awesome.
that has nothing to do with me. And he's just like, he'd come back to me and be like, hey, I posted this video. It's got 10,000 views.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cool. He's like, Dad, it's got like 25,000. Dad, it's got 50. Dad, it's at 90. I think it's going to hit 100. Dad. And then I asked him the other day, he's like 100. I don't know what it is. Is it 150 yet?
153,600.
That's awesome.
So what's real funny is, so now all the schools know about that video. Like all of the surrounding middle schools know about that video. And we come to find out is that the kid, they played against that team in the county championship. He had like 17 points on them and that team won, and he's got another one. And I was like, and unfortunately it's against the kid again. That and one, he's shooting like an NBA range 3. And I'm like, dude, you should slow-mo that. I mean, that kid might get pissed, and think you're like trying to bully him. But that's another really good shot.
Yeah.
And but come to find out, we moved into a new development, and that kid, that boy, his name is Maddox. He's really good too. He lives in the neighborhood. So at some point when the everything is settled here with the weather, I think they may actually see each other on some bikes and be cool,
Nice.
But it's just, what I'm saying? He don't need dad. He's doing just fine as far as, and I don't think he's like that either. I don't think he's like, oh, I wonder what I can get my dad can get me. I just don't think he thinks like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he already gets some kind of cool shit here and there just from, I don't know. Someone close to us sent me a bunch of jerseys. Like, I mean, he wore a fucking Kobe Bryant high school jersey to school the other day. I'm like, okay,
I'd
there's
wear
your
that.
fucking perks.
I'd wear that.
There you go.
I'm like, you better not get that dirty. He sent me John Abbey. What's up, John? I don't know, fellow dad. I don't know if you're listening to this, but John Abbey sent us all these jerseys. And I mean, it was just the coolest gift I had ever gotten. But who else is going to gain some glory out of that? It's going to be him. So I'm not going to wear these jerseys all the time.
Right.
It's like,
you mentioned earlier, I got to ask, Badass Billy Gunn, et cetera, from back in the day. Are you a wrestling fan?
Yeah. So I used to be a big wrestling fan growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
And just recently, my co-host Scott, he's like a wrestling, what they call mark.
Yeah. Yep. He's a mark.
He's a wrestling mark.
Yep.
He even on our podcast network, he does his own podcast called The Heel World.
Okay.
HEEL. And he goes to all the AEW shows and the WWE shows whenever he can. Like he does it to the point where it's like damn, it's heavy. Like he got Tony Khan to do like a video at an event the other day. So he's been watching this from the beginning, and I've sort of started migrating towards it because I'm seeing all these like, Sting. What's Sting doing back?
I know, and it's great. And CM Punk coming out of retirement, and it's pretty cool.
I'm even attracted to like the bad guy, like MJF. Like he's the ultimate bad guy. Like he totally reminds me of the old school Jake the Snake Roberts, Ted DiBiase's, all Ravishing Rick Rude, like all those bad guys. Like he's such a dick. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
So.
Are you still in my Wikipedia deep dive of you earlier? You had a beef with the Miz back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, it was just. I mean, he hit me with a golf cart. Like, how could I ever forget?
Are you guys still? Are you still in touch with each other?
This is Mike the Miz is honestly. I wouldn't call it a beef. I would call it a drunken, he said he was going to put me in the Inferno the following week because I wrestled his buddy and he got a bloody elbow. So I ran up on him and, and Darrell picked me up and just walked away with me as my little ass was looking back at him. Coming to find out, Mike the Miz ends up winning that challenge and he doesn't come back. And he goes on to not only become a WWE superstar, but he continues to be an ambassador to the challenge. Like he never forgot us. Like he's in the Challenge Mania Hall of Fame. He popped in with the suit when I asked him if he would accept the award. He's always been gracious with his time. He's always the kindest. Whenever I talk to him. We exchange a text here and there every now and then. He's doing a lot of awesome, amazing things. I mean, I look up to the guy and, hope to be something like that to the Challenge family if I ever, step away or if it continues to just be from a podcasting platform. Because at this point, the Challenge is reaching new heights by just doing the Challenge. CBS is about to come out, or they're about to film that. They're doing a challenge in Argentina, United Kingdom.
You're going to be on
in Australia.
One, right?
There is a new one coming out May 11th. All Stars 3 is coming out May 11th. I cannot say whether I am or I'm not on that.
Okay.
Can you say if you are or you're not on it?
I could have sworn I saw a promo or something that had you on it.
Oh, you would have to send me the promo, but I don't believe that there's.
I'll ask my wife. We got Paramount Plus, and she's gone back to the beginning of the challenge and like she makes me watch it with her. So like we're watching all the way through, and like her dream was to meet TJ Lavin. So for her birthday, she got to meet TJ in person in Vegas. And then when I told her you were coming on, she's like, "Holy shit, no way, Derek! Like he's a badass." I'm like, yeah, he's coming on.
Where is she? Get her in the room, man.
Yeah, she's at work. She works, so I can do this.
What's her name?
Danielle.
Danielle, what's up? Missing you today here on the Dadcast podcast. I appreciate your love and support, and keep showing your man what's up with the challenge.
Yeah, but we've only got a few minutes left here, Derek. What is your podcast again? Like literally, where can people go and find it, listen at the name of it, the topics, how long you've been doing it? I want to dish on it because I want to go check it out myself.
It's pretty awesome.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's a Challenge Mania podcast. You could go listen at challengemaniapodcast.com. It's available on all platforms from Spotify to iTunes, but the easiest route is challengemaniapodcast.com. I've been interviewing my peers, my coworkers, my friends, my frenemies, for almost 4 years now. I think this is our 5th year. We're going on 5 years. Shit. Maybe this is our 4th year.
Okay.
I think we started in 2017, the end of 2017, after I got done with Dirty 30. And ever since then, I've just been, everyone's been gracious with coming on and telling the stories behind the scenes, and luckily for me, I've been one of those people that's won, lost, laughed, cried, bled in the elimination rounds, and I've experienced quite a bit, so we're able to kind of get thorough with the verbal altercations, the beefs, and the cool shit that you just don't get to, that gets cut out because there's really not enough time. And that's kind of why I started it. It's because when I came back to Dirty 30, I got second place, but you didn't see much of me. You didn't see much of my storyline. And I thought a lot of Derek was left unsaid. So I went to my co-host, Scott Yeager. He said, let's call it Challenge Mania. And we're probably almost 250 episodes deep.
Nice.
With everybody from why TJ wasn't at the Dirty 30 finale, the only one he's ever missed, to most recently Darrell and opening his gym, and all your favorite All-Stars. I think we've gotten everyone from All-Stars 1 and 2. And then I think we just interviewed we just had Michelle Fitzgerald from Survivor, who's also dabbled in the challenge world. So we try to give you the challenge universe from all different angles. And but if you like to listen to some more of our bonus content, there's over 200 episodes in there, and that's on patreon.com/Challenge Mania. We have a live show. Actually, it's just a throwback party in New York City. So if you're in New York City this weekend, we're having a throwback Thursday party this Thursday in New York at East End Bar and Grill. Just follow me on my platforms if you're interested in seeing us live and in person. Tickets are at challengemania.live. We're in New Orleans on March 26th, and I believe we're close to announcing Nashville on July 30th. If we haven't announced it yet, you may have heard it here first because we haven't. So, but I don't care. You can leave that in there. Challengemania.live for tickets if you want to see us live and in person.
Yeah. So everybody, don't do it right now. Finish this episode first. But once this episode's over, go check out Derek Kosinski's awesome podcast, Challenge Mania. Now, call me crazy here, and Nick, tell me I'm wrong, but when he was just explaining all that and he got a little bit closer to the camera, man, you resembled Conor McGregor, something fierce. Have you ever heard that before?
No, but I have. I was actually out. I was actually in the Bahamas, and we were going on one of those like boat tours.
Yeah.
And the guy that was on the mic, he was the guide. He was like, "Oh, you look like Conor McGregor. You look like Conor McGregor." So I think every now and then I do get a little bit of the. We got.
It was the lighting and the angle. Who knows? But for a split second there, I was like, "Look, man, I look like Conor McGregor." All right, Nick. Okay. This is the time. So this is this period of the show where it's called the Fast Five. Nick's going to ask you 5 fast questions, and I might add a couple afterwards, and they're fun. Here we go. Let's do it.
All right. Who's your favorite competitor on the challenge?
I probably Darrell. I'm probably that's my guy. He's one of my best friends. So nice. That's an easy one. Best competitor though is a toss up between CT and Johnny Bananas. They're in an arms race here.
That's what I'm seeing throughout the years of watching all of the challenges that I've been watching. And I'd love to get CT on the podcast, by the way.
There you go. It's dropping the names. That's all right. Yeah. Good. And I'd like to get Mike the Miz on. Just saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Hey, well, the CT one is, I have a hard time getting to him nowadays. So, but Mike might respond to DMs though. You just throw the dad stuff in there.
Exactly. It's amazing how many people you've hit up Mike.
I've hit up Mike the Miz. Yeah, dude, I've been a fan since he was on MTV's the wrestling reality show. That
he was on Real World, wasn't he? Back first.
I don't know if it was. I don't know.
Or the house one, but whatever. Yeah, he's
something where they threw a bunch of wrestlers in a house and like he was really skinny back.
Tough enough. Real World and then Tough Enough. Real World, the challenge, and then Tough Enough. Yep.
Yeah. It's amazing how, when we do reach out, even like an A-lister, if you want to call it that, would typically not respond. But then they see the premise of this particular podcast and they go, oh my gosh, that's really, really cool. They don't want to talk about me. They want to talk about my kids. And a lot of times there's, dads are all about that, right? Sorry. Anyway, Nick, go. Okay. Question.
Number 2, favorite meal to cook for your kid?
Oh, I'm a terrible cook. I'd prefer to. The question should be favorite meal that your fiance cooks for
there
your
you
kid. No, for me, what do I make for him that's easy? Shit. I owe him a Popeyes trip. I owe him a Popeyes trip. To be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, pasta's the easiest, but yeah, I don't cook. So like I said, I owe him some Popeyes.
There you go. The go-to fast food joint.
So what's the coolest and like proudest thing that you've taught your kid? Like you're like most proud about?
I mean, look, he just recently had 17 points in the county championship against a really good team. I mean, I've seen him will his team to victory this year just out of hard work and the will to win. And then he played tackle football recently or this past season for his first time, with pads, and he got defensive player of the year. He's sacking people violently. He's catching footballs like, playing tight end like he's Rob Gronkowski. I'd like to see more. I'd like to see some more. He had his first touchdown. So, I mean, I'm just proud of that he loves to play the sports, and then also I just think he's a good kid. I think he's a good person, and I think he's smarter than me. He's going to be better than me from all aspects. As a good person, I think he's going to be better than me. Dad, when we going to church, Dad, can you teach me this prayer? I'm like, what? What is happening? But thank you. I mean, in school, he's smart. He's got a 3.5 GPA. He can't wait till travel ball starts this week. So it's like he communicates well. He articulates stories well, with people. Excuse me. So, I mean, there's a lot to be proud of, I don't know. I can't, those are just the ones off the top of my head.
We'll take them, man. Awesome, good stuff.
You're killing it as a dad. If you could have a billboard with anything on it, what would it be and why?
I mean, I was 2 years ago, I was on a billboard from my dentist. So that was I was in Morgantown, West Virginia, with a big ass billboard where everybody drives by. And I'm just like, that was awesome. I mean, for me, that was all right. I mean, I did it. I don't know if I'll ever be on a billboard again. But I mean, if I could, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. What are some answers people have said?
Well, so the reason we asked that question, I bought a billboard when we first started doing the podcast, we're one episode in. I bought a billboard on the busiest street in Medford, which has like 100,000 people. And it said the #1 parenting podcast in the world with our pictures.
One episode in.
One episode in. So, and it was awesome. And like from that point, like we've gone to where we have a huge social media following, where we've gotten over 1 million views on YouTube. So it's,
some answers from previous guests were, like be kind, be patient. I'm just going to go out and say it. I'm not going to say who said it. If you're interested in who said it, you need to go back and watch every single episode till you find out who did say it. But one guy wanted "Let's Go Brandon" on his billboard, which, is very political these days. It's been a whole gamut of stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Yeah. And here's my daughter calling me right now, even though I told her Daddy's recording a podcast. And here we go. It's one of those instances where, girl, this conversation happened an hour and 10 minutes ago. I said I'd call you when I'm done, but here we are. There, see, but I can't answer. All right, Nick, got any more questions?
Yeah. Okay, your scariest mission on the challenge.
Man, I thought I was gonna drown. It was in the Inferno 3. We were in South Africa, and it wasn't one of those situations where I thought I was gonna drown. Like, it was not very possible. But so the goal was to go across the stream of water where the water's going this way, and there's a beaten path about 3 or 4 feet underwater, so you can feel the path while you're walking. But to try to conserve energy, I would like swim and then I would jog. I would swim and then I would fucking push it, right? And at some point I lost the path. Like, I couldn't find it. And it was fucking pushing me further and further down the stream. And I had to fight to get back to the path. And I thought I was going to die. I thought right then and there, everyone is just, there's no lifeguards out here because you're just supposed to stay on the path. Like, this isn't supposed to happen. People aren't just supposed. And that was kind of earlier on in the challenge. Now everything, they take those precautions, probably because of fucking assholes like me who just can't stay on the fucking path.
That's another thing that I've noticed about the older episodes. There's a lot of weird shit going on. And now it's like, it's so much safer now. Like, I would feel comfortable doing a challenge, but back then, hell no.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's I guess we all started somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And we all kind of got better, tried to create a better, make it all better, So I think that's where we're at with the challenge now and the challenge all-stars, and people are loving that. So yeah, that was pretty scary. Then there was another time in Australia where we had to go deep sea diving for a flag. So they shot you 30 feet down underwater and you had to equalize. And if you don't know how to equalize, you're coming right back up because you're, and the few of the competitors that went before me, they were coming up, their nose was bleeding and they're holding their ears and their head. And we went down, and then you had to, once you retrieve the flag, you're supposed to stay underwater as long as you can. So it's like, okay, so I'm going to go retrieve this flag 30 feet underwater. And I'm going to come up, and you want me to hold my fucking, you want me to kill myself? Like, you're like drowning yourself. Like, it's crazy. So those were pretty scary. The water's a scary area for me. So,
okay.
There you go.
Last question. Do you have any advice for parents that travel a lot for work?
I just think communicating with your kids is the most important thing. I know there's a gray area between like telling them everything and understanding what age they're at and what they should be knowing and should be knowing. But I think you tell your kids, especially if you're traveling and it's work related, like, you stay in contact with them. Like, we have FaceTime now. Like, I've seen you two now longer than I've seen most people, because the older friends, because I haven't seen them in such a long time. But you can. This is the new way of communicating. You can have parties on Zoom.
Yeah.
You can watch fucking movies together. You can look at each other. Like, that's the best advice I give, is tell your kids what you're doing, how your day was, where you're at. I mean, I think it's fascinating. Tell them about the hidden gem that you're probably going to go to tonight. Bring them something back from that place. Like keep them informed, have them understand that like you're away for a reason, but like use it as a teaching moment,
There you have it, man. Yeah. With today's technology, there's no excuse. There's no excuse to be a poor ass father, period. And I don't mean poor financially. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you guy, random dude watching on YouTube right now who are feeling bad about yourself. I'm sorry. It's not my intention. Be a better dad. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to go on a rant there. Everybody.
Well, it also goes for the counterpart. You got to give them you can't deter, the father his time, like you have to make that easy for the child, man. These kids, they don't know how to protect themselves early on. Mm-hmm. So, it's also very important for mothers to make it easier.
Yeah.
For the father to, for the kid, because the kids, they don't want to talk on the phone. They don't even know how to talk on the phone.
No, they don't. Give them.
They don't. You have to literally teach them, hey, you're not doing nothing. Just so you know, you didn't not do nothing today. Okay, so explain what you did today. You're not doing nothing. You have a video game controller in your hand. You're not doing nothing. You're watching the TV. What are you watching on TV?
Yeah.
Explain it. Stop being a dud. teach your kids not to. I'm saying it's like you can have a teaching moment with your child by telling them you need to communicate with your mother or your father. It's talking time. It's you talk.
Words of wisdom from Derek Kosinski. Don't be a dud. I love it.
Hey, put it on a t-shirt.
We just might, man.
Don't be a dud.
That's what we should do, Nick, for the merch store. Add a shirt from each guest, at least ones that put out really good quotes. And, quotes, don't be a dud. And a little picture of Derek underneath, maybe a challenge logo. I don't know. We might get copyrighted for that, but something along those lines.
You'd have to go, you'd have to cross out either the U and then put an A or
right. Yeah.
something like that. Like, don't be a dud. I mean, that's all. That's probably speaks for itself.
DUH-D dud.
Because somewhere you're going to have like your logo, right? Or something like Dadcast.
Yeah.
Dadcast down here. And then it would make sense because you'd be like, don't be a dud. And then you'd be like, Dadcast down.
Don't be a dud, be a dad. Oh, God, I'm coming up with all crazy ones. All right. Yes. Hey, Derek, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and breaking away from that TV, which we didn't even discuss. Good for us. We'll let you get back to it. Everyone listening, watching, thank you so much. We love you, of course. If you're on the YouTube, please leave a comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check out Derek's podcast and go to Paramount Plus and check out all the old episodes of The Challenge like Nick and his lady do. And we will see all of you next week. Have a great rest of your day. Derek, thank you, man.
Later. Thanks, man.
No problem. See you guys. Nice to meet you.